Hi! Right now I'm on my solo art retreat. Imagine this, the perfect little space you've ever seen, in the perfect location that you could imagine, all to yourself just to create art. That's exactly what I did over the past week. I know if you're watching this that you deserve an art retreat. I want to make this video to inspire others to take time for their art or passion, whatever else it is. I'm sure that most of these tips will apply to any other passion that you have. It's kind of funny because I feel like doing something like this is just so courageous. I know it's just taking a week to myself out of all 52 weeks of the year, but I feel like a lot of people don't do this for themselves, so I feel really good about that, and I think it's something that everyone could benefit from. When I first looked around at what to do, I looked at artist residencies. Now, most of them are 2 weeks minimum and very far away. I liked the idea of them, and I almost signed up for one in Scotland, which sounded very interesting, and it was collage focused, and I thought that would be really cool to meet people. That said, I'm a very self-motivated person, so I didn't really know if I needed the pressures of other people, and I like the idea of meeting people, but with the given times, I just wanted to create a lot of things and do some self-reflection, and I felt that I could do that better just by myself. So I had the idea to bring the art retreat to me. I knew I needed to take a vacation, but because I'm a Virgo and I can't relax, I just really needed to find some other solution. So I'm gonna give you my itinerary and walk you through all the steps that I took to planning this trip. I thought others might find this useful because now you can just take my plan and add your own little spice to it. I did a lot of planning in advance to make sure that this week would go as smoothly as possible. So with that all out of the way, let's get started. Step 1. Decide when, where, and for how long. I decided that a week was probably my limit for alone time like this. It's long enough that I could be productive and still enjoy myself. I could also see 4 days being a perfect amount of time if you can only take a long weekend. I also appreciated giving myself a month and a half in advance to plan this trip. It gave me the time to get in the mindset of what this was going to be, decide what I wanted to do, and get excited for it. Being close also helped because my suitcase was definitely over 100 pounds. It was so heavy just because it was full of old magazines, books, all my camera equipment, clothing, art supplies, all of those things just weighed so much that I would not have been able to get on a plane with those things. I feel like if you're a painter, it's pretty easy. You can just bring your little paint tubes or buy them there. But with collage material, I have to bring everything that I was going to use for the most part. You can also decide on the season that you want to do it. So for me, I wanted to do it before my birthday, so summer was kind of the perfect time for that. But doing this now, I feel like having a little cozy cabin away in the winter would be extremely fun. Other places obviously don't have this problem, or maybe you want to do a getaway somewhere warm in the winter, or just enjoying yourself any time of the year. After deciding I didn't want to go on a plane and I didn't want to drive 8 hours, I kind of decided on somewhere about an hour outside of where I lived. These are some things that some other people are more willing to do on their vacation, but I just wanted to know that I could get there with as much stuff as I needed and not have to worry about that. Step 2. Booking a location. Now, I want to start by prefacing that I am usually too afraid to go anywhere alone, especially a cabin in the woods. I can't be the only one that's watched way too many horror movies about this story, but I found the perfect one for me. I also feel like after 2 years of being locked up, I'm just so used to being alone now that it feels a lot more normal. In terms of where, think of where you feel at peace. For me, because I'm from a city, I really wanted to get into the country, into nature. I knew I wanted to be around animals, I knew I wanted to have fresh produce and all of these types of things, so that's why I chose the countryside. I also, in a way, think it's kind of funny that when I told my friends I was going, they were asking if I was having a Van Gogh moment. But truly, like, the countryside is just very therapeutic for me. The Scotland idea was a good idea. It's a cozy little cabin. Rains a lot, so you'll have to be in and making art. Depends on what your circumstances are. I booked this a month and a half in advance. This gave me time to ideate exactly what I wanted to do and kind of make a list of things that would potentially be really fun. Since a lot of activities take some time in advance to book, I made sure to put those in my calendar and reach out to people who I thought would be able to provide me the activities. For me, I asked if there were any nearby farms that provided horseback riding lessons, and I found one that's like literally 2 minutes away. I also looked at the map for where some hiking trails might be, or I looked into free activities, I looked into restaurants that I might want to try. I'm even potentially getting a tattoo. Since I'm in the countryside, there's not really many art galleries, but I was thinking that that would be something that if you were traveling somewhere, you would want to book in advance. When booking this trip, I also looked at going to different cities. I looked into New York and going to the MoMA, or Montreal and going to their smaller galleries to get an idea of what other Canadian artists are making. In the end, I found that I just wanted to create a lot, so I picked a location that is nowhere near art galleries. I brought a lot of art books to try to make up for that so that I can still see new things, and wrote down some documentaries that I wanted to watch while here. Step 3, booking other activities. Once you've booked your location, make sure to start booking your activities right away. For me, I love thrifting and going to antique stores. I made an itinerary to stop in a lot of the little thrift stores along the way. There are barns full of magazines up here, so I was looking through so many different cool things and ended up with some really cool new material. Although going to antique stores really tuckers me out, it also leaves me with so much inspiration. I also haven't been horseback riding since I was a kid, and that was something that I thoroughly enjoyed. I wanted to do that as well, so I booked lessons while I'm up here. A lot of the activities that I did have to book way in advance. I also thought it was important to get into nature. Luckily for me, that's easy with the place I'm staying that has a 15-acre walking trail and a national park really close by. When I first arrived after my horseback riding lesson, the owner said that there was a nearby lake that I could go jump into, so I did, and that was incredible. I don't know about you, but food also inspires me, so I booked a bunch of reservations in advance in places that I knew that I wanted to go to. I tried to find places that do farm to table. I found a restaurant that's super fancy that I've been to before and I really loved the cocktails at. Or if you just simply love cooking, I do as well. I wanted to stop at a farmer's market and make dinner with those fresh produce. Step 4, intention setting. As I'm filming this, I'm looking through my Notions list of goals and intentions that I had set for myself. Ask yourself, what do you want to get out of this retreat? Why do you want to go on a retreat? I wrote down questions of things that I was constantly thinking about leading up to this. What would my next year in business look like? What did I want to do in the next year? What would next year look like? What did I do really well this year? What do I want to stop doing next year? Where do I see this business going in 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years? I know it's a hard question, but I wanted to make sure that I was going in the right direction. And I made sure to not just make questions about my art. I made questions about my life and what I wanted to improve in. When I have a solid routine in my personal life, I find my art business just flows. Having good habits in your personal life will always lead to better business. So again, ask yourself some of these questions. What habits did I want to start doing? For one, I wanted to improve my morning routine and add a couple things to my night routine. I wanted to ask myself the same questions every day for a couple days to see what answers were coming out. Where were there duplicates and where were there differences? Is there anything that was contrasting? I was basically analyzing myself as a specimen. I know this isn't something a lot of people want to do on vacation, but this isn't just vacation, remember. It's a retreat, and you need to get out of it what you want to get out of it. These are all things that a business would do at an offsite, and I do treat my art like an art business. We are now on to step 5, packing for the trip. I brought so much stuff. I was worried that the host was going to think that I was just moving in. This bag was massive, and I brought a couple boxes of paper as well. I was trying to act like super nonchalantly carrying my bag through the gravel. It probably weighed like 100 pounds. First, we got camera gear. So this is something that you might not have, but for me, I create content for my art as well as, well, this right now. I brought a tripod, a mic, and my camera, as well as a bunch of other batteries and extra SD cards in case I ran out of space. I also brought my laptop, but I knew I'd want to work on the couch, so I brought a desk cushion as well. This is like the best thing I ever bought for this exact situation. It's got pads on the bottom, and then you can just put your laptop on top of it to keep it off your lap. As for art gear, remember to bring things that you can't live without. For me, I love having my tools in a jar, and yes, I could use one from here, but I wanted to bring something that brought me back to home. The idea is to give you a sense of home in your studio in a foreign place. I think that this helps me create more. I hope it does for you as well. The biggest thing is you don't want to get there and just not feel as inspired as you could be. Next is books and journals. Again, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I have 5 different journals and each one is for different topics that I go through. So here's my thick stack of journals. I do literally have 5 of them and each one has a different purpose. I also wanted to make sure that I was reading something while I'm here that is unrelated to the topic so that I can get a break from art as well. And so I chose this book. It's called Do Nothing: How to Break Away from Overworking, Overdoing, and Underliving. This has been something that I've really valued doing. I brought this book to Mexico in February. It's now August, and I just didn't even open it because I was doing nothing there, I guess, and living life, so maybe that's good. But now I wanted to bring that back and implement those values into my life. As for personal things, this is always going to look different for each person, but I wanted to make sure I had a wide variety of clothes for filming. Wasn't filming content though, even though I'm wearing pajamas right now. I would have just brought some big comfy clothes and a hair mask and looked absolutely gross the whole time because that's the best way for me to feel while I'm creating. Maybe I'll implement that a couple times throughout here. If you haven't seen it, here.
I don't really mean to be rude, but you look like garbage rat. You look like you crawled out the sewer and the infestation, and you look like garbage.
That is my usual look and feel, and I don't like to feel any other way while I'm creating. I like to look absolutely garbage. We are now moving on to step 6, which is getting the most out of your experience. In my opinion, step 6 is going to be the most important. Although I talked a big game about having an itinerary, it's also extremely important to listen to your body and what you need. Some days I really wanted to create all day, and others I just wanted to do nothing, and that was okay. That said though, you need to set boundaries with what you get done. This is not just a vacation, you owe it to yourself to be here and be present with your art. My one biggest rule for all of you is do not doom scroll. You worked so hard to get yourself here for this amount of time. You owe it to yourself to be creative and embrace it. I quickly wanted to take you through my art prompts and goals. I have them all here on my Notion. Here are some art questions that maybe you want to think about as well. How can I push my art style? How can I push my art style through activities? How could I meet more artists and grow a community? Where do I see my art business in 1 year? How can I help other artists through my YouTube channel? How can I teach other artists what I know already? I also wanted to give myself some prompts for art activities in case I got stuck. So these are some of the prompts that I came up with. Make a piece with a high contrast. Make a piece with low contrast. Make a piece that uses a new technique that I've never used before. For collage artists, I said use a piece that is not inspiring me. I also asked my followers on Instagram to give me some prompts for ideas of what I would do. Being a collage artist, we have February, which is a February challenge where you make a collage every day, and they give you a prompt for this. So like one of them was cat or escape, for example. So I wanted to ask my followers what they wanted me to create as well. Every time I don't feel like creating, I do push myself to try and create something, and something always comes of it. If I didn't feel like it, I would stop, but every time I start, I end up being there for hours. I'll also plug my mini itinerary just right here. Having a loose schedule of what I wanted to accomplish each day did help with this. I'm a list person, I love using lists every day, and that makes me feel great, so that's something that I wanted to implement here as well. That said, you need to be blocking time for art flow. What is art flow? I know they use the term flow in yoga, but I'm gonna apply it here, but it's when you flow into the moves and there's a continuous pattern versus stopping anywhere. After feeling fully inspired, I feel like being able to create in these longer periods is perfect. Put on your favorite music, get your space set up, etc. beforehand, eat just to make sure that you're going to be able to work for many hours and get ready for that. For the first day, it was all about getting those creative juices flowing. I made sure to load this up with cool activities that would tucker me out so that I could sleep all the first night in order to have a fresh morning start. I went to 5 antique stores, I went horseback riding, I got a tour of the property, I made a really nice dinner. I got my table all set up with all my art supplies, I unpacked, I had a shower, I swam. When you're planning your time slots, make sure to make space for your external factors. These might be something like when you know someone's stopping by or someone wants to call you. Also leave time for this to make it on your schedule. So if you know your family needs to call you, maybe set a time that works for you. Maybe it's the first thing in the morning so that you can just get to it and don't have to worry about it later. So we've done our 6 steps, now it's time to move on to the bonus tips. These are things that I think would make or break a vacation and provide some alternatives if you don't want to go alone. If you don't want to go alone, make sure to find a place with 2 completely separate workspaces. This could be a dining room and an office. You just want to have that space to get into your flow, put your headphones in, and not have to worry about anyone distracting you. Also find someone that would actually want to do this with you and commit very closely to making art. Bring other mediums that you usually don't use. This is a great place for experimentation and getting away from your normal style. Sometimes doing this will push your own art style even further. I just brought pen and paper because that's something that I used to love doing, is just drawing, and it gives me an opportunity to take a break while still practicing art. Something that was a make or break as well was bringing hearty snacks. You don't want to have to stop and make a full meal for an hour. This should just be something that you can just grab and go, get a glass of water, drink it in 10 minutes, and be done. Do not schedule anything too close to your art flow sessions. You want at least 8 hours in between. So maybe go for a hike in the morning and then start your art. The idea of an art flow is do not stop for anything. If you're making content like this, why don't you ask for a discount? Make a little promo video for them while you're there. If you have any questions, please just comment them below and I'll take a look. In this video, I gave you a small teaser of what I did. If you want to see more of this art retreat and how it went, I've filmed other videos, so go check those out. If you decide to do your own art retreat, I would love to know. Comment below, tell me about it. Where are you going? What are you doing? I just love hearing about these stories. So I'm gonna go head out and jump in the lake, but I'll talk to you guys later.